Welcome everybody to the X Factor podcast today on this Thursday morning, afternoon, whatever you're at. And we are going to get right into it here. We're going to talk about, I got some WWE stuff I need to talk about here quick. Talk about the new signing in AEW, the big news that AEW had last night. And then that'll be all for today. And then tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I probably won't post anything tomorrow, so but if you want to stay up on my social media pages, it's X Factor. On my TikTok, it is X Factor Sports 420, all lowercase. And my Twitter is X Factor MG5654. The MG and the X are capitalized. Everything else is lowercase. So get right into it there. Check out my social media pages. See what you would like to see. Let me know comment on some of my posts. See what you want to see. TikTok, all that stuff. So we're gonna get right into it here. There's been so I know I didn't review Monday Night Raw the other night, but there is some news coming out that Vince is either gonna be at SmackDown or he's gonna be there through virtually. There's been rumors that's through Dave Meltzer, so I'm not gonna. If Sean Ross Sapp says something, I'll probably believe it. But if it's Dave Meltzer, he's 90% wrong because half the time he doesn't really cover that. He just covers AEW shit half the time. And also SmackDown tomorrow is looking pretty good. And that's why if you see my social media page, I've said on Monday, this is probably just a fluke week, or Triple H and Vince are like, who books the better show? And Vince is like Triple H Vince booked that, and after that Triple H is like, you're not booking any more stuff type of deal. But we're gonna get some banger stuff. Triple H has an announcement to make tomorrow. I don't know if that's occurring to the draft, or if that's occurring to Vince, or if that's occurring to any title stuff going on. I am not 100% sure, but I'm interested to see what's gonna go on right there. There are 2 matches set up for SmackDown. There's a 6-man tag match. Imperium versus the Brawling Brutes. And that right there pretty much tells me that something's going on with Drew. Because Drew would, if we see Drew tomorrow, then that proves that nothing's going on. But if we don't see Drew for the next couple coming weeks, that just shows he's one of the guys that wants to leave. There's a tag match. Santos Escobar and Rey versus Dom and Damian Priest. So good thing to see the Latino World Order going out of here. And then Jey Uso will face Sami Zayn tomorrow night on SmackDown. So that is going to be some interesting stuff. But that's not even some of the stuff I want to get into today, because that's just the start of what I'm going to get into. Because AEW have a new signing. So getting right into it, if you see the front, it is true. Jay White is officially All Elite. I think we all kind of expected this, though. Well, if you just watch AEW, you probably expected this. And after what happened on Raw, you probably definitely did expect it. But some people are speculating if he changed his mind after Raw. But if you think about it, Juice Robinson and Ricky Stark set up this match about a week or 2 ago. So they probably already knew that they were getting him, and that's when they, pulled the trigger on it to have him come in Long Island, New York. So the match with Ricky Starks and Juice Robinson did not happen because of Jay White's debut. And if we're going to see some more Bullet Club stuff, I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to be great to see what happens. Alright, and then the next matchup was, it wasn't really a matchup, it was a segment with Jericho, and pretty much saying that he disrespected, they were disrespecting Daniel Garcia with the whole Adam Cole celebration and everything after that. And Keith Lee comes in front of him. Damn it. Keith Lee comes to him and pretty much calls him the one that's pretty much disrespecting because he's had his matches with Adam Cole before, and of course in NXT, and he said he still has respect for him, but for Jericho, that's a different story, and he challenges Jericho to a match next week, so that is and Jericho versus Keith Lee is gonna be a banger matchup, so best friends versus the House of Black. We got a return for Sue. Trent Beretta's mom, so that's a great thing to see there. House of Black ended with the win. I thought the match was alright. Kind of expected, we all expected who was going to win, but I think that was a good matchup. House of Black retains. What's next for House of Black, I honestly don't know. And Best Friends, I don't really know either, so. And then we got a return after that. It was a little segment with Christian Cage, and is the return of Luchasaurus. And if some people that you don't know, Luchasaurus is one of my favorite AEW wrestlers, like right now. He is like up there as one of my favorites. And he's been one of my favorites since him and Jungle Boy split up. So, and that's one of the things I love to see Luchasaurus back in AEW. I don't know why he was gone for the longest time, but it's great to see him back, and hopefully he gets a good title run later on. Jamie Hayter versus Rio, and let me tell you, that match was amazing. Like, there's not many, and I'm not trying to sound sexist here, but there's some women matches that I don't really get excited for, but Rio and Jamie Hayter, that one got me like ready to go. I was hyped. And I think there was like not even one spot I don't think that I was like, oh, I don't really like that. I don't really like that because like most of the match I liked. And by the way, there will be no Riho or Luchasaurus hate on this YouTube, or on this podcast. So if that happens, don't even come at me, bro. I will get you. So yeah, but Jamie Hayter retains against Riho in a great match. After that, the Outcast. Saraya pretty much said that they were all going to try to go after that women's title in separate and different times and forms, which I think is going to cause some controversy here in the AEW scene. So it's going to be interesting what they do with that. So it's going to be fun. After that, the JAS and the Acclaimed the Acclaimed were seeing if they're going to like join the JAS. Obviously they didn't, but they did announce they were gonna have a match at Rampage. I just think it's funny how the Acclaimed a couple months ago were one of the best tag teams around, and now they're facing Angelo Parker and Daddy Magic on Rampage. And Parker and Magic are not. They haven't really been shown much because they're either hurt or they're just been shown on Dark. So. I think there's a level up Magic and Parker, but for the Acclaimed, it doesn't really do anything for them. So, that's pretty much what I got for that. MJF Day was that was one of my favorite segments I have ever seen. MJF comes out to MJF Day, the key to the town and everything, and he sings. Let me tell you, that man can sing. I wasn't watching AEW when him and Jericho had his little singing thing, and I've never seen it until last night when I looked it up. But it was fun. That's some fun stuff to watch right there. He got to the key to the town, and people were booing that senator bad, man. That was some loudest boos I've heard in a while from them. But chants for ADD. Attention and disorder, so and then fucking Jungle Boy, of course, had to ruin it by taking him out. So you have the 4 pillars of AEW. Commander versus Sammy Guevara was right after that. That was in the middle, like when Jungle Boy and MJF were going at it, and that match I wasn't feeling it very much, kind of. I don't know why, I just wasn't really into that match. After the match, the promo Sammy had, god awful. Oh my god. That was I didn't know whether to look away or run away from my family because I'm sorry, that was just terrible. And I don't really have a problem with a lot of Sammy Guevara's promos, but that one was just awful. And he's been saying the same thing that everyone else has been saying. MJF just never worked his way up to the top. So it's pretty much the same thing every week. So, and I think, and I'm smelling a fatal 4-way here for them at Double or Nothing, or if it's gonna end up being a triple threat number one contender shot for MJF at Double or Nothing. But I'm not 100% sure for that. All Ego Ethan Page faced Hook for the FTW title, and a really quick match. Overall, let's just say Matt Hardy has finally turned on Ethan Page. And at this point, I was really, expecting Jeff Hardy to come out or whatever. When Ethan Page, and if you guys haven't been watching Dark or whatever, and people might say there hasn't been a story, but if you've been watching Dark and Elevation, not many people do, you would know they've been building up the story through Dynamite, Rampage, and Dark and Elevation, which has been fun to watch every week. So, and Matt Hardy turned on it. Like, they looked like they'd be friends, and he turned on him. And then tweets out, something about he didn't read the fine print of the contract. So, that tells me something's changing. Hopefully Jeff Hardy return soon. Hopefully they don't try to kill him. But, that's pretty much that. So, the Combat Club had a match against Jobbers. And then Bryan Danielson was talking pretty much about how everyone else is amateurs, and after what he's seen this past week, they're the best wrestling company around. And I'm pretty sure they're taking shots after what happened on Raw. Hangman comes out, looks like he's going to be the Superman and takes them all out. Did not happen. And let's just say a screwdriver to the eye is pretty much what happens. And the Combat Club has taken out everybody. They have taken out everybody from the Elite to Hangman to Dark Order. They have taken out everybody. So whether we'll probably see something next week. I'm not 100% sure, but let's just say it's getting interesting with that. So the main event was FTR versus the Guns. Not gonna lie, I think the finishing was kind of mid. I'm sorry, FTR went off roll-ups. I'm sorry, that's just not that's not how I feel should have been happening there. For a little bit, it was a great match. Guns came out to Many Men by 50 Cent. For a second, I'm like, ooh, I kind of like their entrance. I'm like, I realized what the fucking song was after. But I like their old theme a lot better because I like the theme song. I like the way they're coming out. And then FTR came out, and it started off a little bit slow, but it got right up into it after. Austin Gunn hit Dax with the title. He ended up He ended up hitting him with the title and he kicked out. And after that, it was, and that's pretty much when the ending happened. And I'm sorry, the roll-up finish was just not my kind of deal. It wasn't. They should at least, just pinned him clean. Boom, no roll-up, no stuff like that. Because that just made, in my opinion, made FTR look weak. Like, they couldn't beat the Guns. And I'm sorry, FTR is a way better tag team than the Guns. And I love the Guns, but they're not on the same level as FTR. Not many teams are. So, don't act like I'm trying to take shots at the Guns. Not many teams are at the same level as FTR. So, seeing them having to roll up the Guns for a tag title victory for the titles, it just made, in my opinion, made them look weak. And that's just not my type of thing. But, FTR stays in AEW, and apparently they have had their intention to stay with AEW for a while now. I don't know why they made all that drama then about leaving, but And if you guys have been wondering this entire time, I have not forgotten about the announcement. I was waiting for the last to tell you about the announcement. So here we go. Alright, so if you see the screen, it's official. AEW All In is officially coming to Wembley Stadium in London, England. Tony Khan and Nigel McGuinness announced it on Dynamite last night. And let me just tell you, I am stoked. And many people that are wondering what All In is, if you haven't watched AEW, All In was the first pay-per-view they've ever had, the first event they've ever had. And they've pretty much have been going off since. So seeing that they're bringing back All In is great. And plus they didn't have the trademark name for it. Ring of Honor had it, and then Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, so he got the name back, obviously. And they're in London, England. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be in August 27th. It's gonna be in Wembley Stadium, the first pay-per-view in Wembley Stadium since 1992 SummerSlam, and the third UK pay-per-view event, or fourth UK pay-per-view event ever. Because you had SummerSlam 92, Clash at the Castle last year with WWE, Money in the Bank this year up in July in WWE, or June or July, and then All In. And I have seen many expect them, and there's two crowds on this. If AEW can fill in a 90,000 attendance crowd, like if you're just an AEW fan, like if you just watch them, you're biased on them all the time, you probably say, yeah, they can definitely do it. And if you're a WWE fan, you're like, no, they can't ever do it. I watch both, so I'm going to give you my opinion on it. When it comes to attendance, it's really hard to try to sell tickets from just one place when you're in one country. And it's trying to put it in words here. I don't really know how to express it, but if you think about it, the last time they were in Wembley Stadium was 1992, and they had 80,355 people. So WWE back in its prime days, when everyone thought it was real and everything, or like not scripted or whatever, when everyone thought there was actually real fights, it was 80,000 people. That's how much WWE WrestleMania had this year, just in night 1 and night 2. It was both 80,000 people events. Whether AEW can fit an 90,000 attendance crowd, I don't think they can do it. And I'm not hating on AEW. And the only problem is, Dynamite, they can rarely crack 1 million views a week. So, and yet they're in their first stadium. I'm gonna give them props. They're in their first stadium pay-per-view ever. So that's great to see that. But when you think about it, I just with how and UK people love their wrestling. If you don't know that, UK people love their wrestling. So obviously they're gonna have a big crowd. And I'm gonna put it into a max of 40 to 50,000 max for them. And if they go way beyond that to 60, 70, maybe 80,000 people, if they go way beyond what WWE would ever do, then that just proves that AEW is getting on WWE's level overall. And I just don't think they're going to crack. And there's going to be a lot of people in the UK that will show up. But then people in the US, I don't know. And the population in London, England's 8 million. So you also got to think they're one of the biggest. That's 80 million. So pretty much there's gonna be a lot of them that could potentially show up there, just from London, England, and there's gonna be people from other countries as well. But I'm actually gonna change that. I'm gonna change it to a maximum of 60,000 to 65,000 people. And if they go anything lower, if I think it'd be a huge fail if they don't crack anywhere near 40,000 because how big the stadium is, how much UK people love wrestling. And and some people who have never watched AEW in the UK, some people don't know if it exists, or be like, okay, oh, this is a new company. Bring them in. Expand your population of wrestling for AEW. And Boatman, I think AEW going in London is perfect because forever they've just went to Canada, and they're only 5 years into a company, and they're already be at two different countries. They're already have been in Canada, and they're gonna be in London, England, and that's all in a span of 2 years. And they've been a company for 5 years, for nearly 5 years. So it's good to see them getting up to where they need. Because like a couple years ago, maybe we were like, well, they're not gonna be like WWE. They're not gonna be like WWE. And I'm just gonna let you know right now, if All In is a success with population wise, ticket wise, match card wise, then they're gonna be up there with WWE. And I'm not gonna be ashamed to say it, because for a while I've called them the next WCW, which I still slowly think that, but um, it's just gonna be interesting to see if they can pull off one of the biggest things and pull 60, 70,000 people. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if they can pull over 80,000, they're gonna be going off. Like, I feel like that's where, if they reach anything over 80,000, I feel like that's where the company's turning, and I mean turning to a good way, not a bad way. And if that ever happens, I think WWE needs to look like it and needs, like, maybe we should try to beat that record at Wembley in another time period, in a year or two, But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be very good. So that's all I got for you today. Enjoy life. Enjoy wrestling. If you watch Impact, enjoy Impact tonight. Enjoy SmackDown and Rampage and Battle of the Belts tomorrow. And then I will probably get right back at you guys on Saturday with my stuff. I'm gonna record my reactions for Battle of the Belts, Rampage, and SmackDown on Saturday. Try to post it Saturday. I won't talk on Monday or Friday probably. So I'll get into it Saturday, and then I'll get to you Monday. Everyone have a good day, and bless.